Estou passando nesse podcast para dividir uma informação que fez toda a diferença na minha vida. Quer fazer pós-graduação, mas tá impossível correr de um lugar para o outro?
Pois é, ainda mais com o trânsito.
Então você precisa conhecer a educação à distância do Senac. Sabia que é nota máxima no MEC? E tem diversos cursos de pós-graduação para te levar ainda mais longe. 100% online, sem necessidade de TCC e com acesso direto a todos os professores.
Ah, saber isso fez diferença sim.
Inscreva-se já na pós-graduação EAD. Quer saber? Senac EAD.
Today on CityCast Houston, it's been a week since Beryl hit Houston, and there are some people still without power. And for those of us who do have power, we're exhausted and a little bit traumatized as well. So how can we return to normal and find some joy of living in the city of Houston? Houstonia Magazine's editor-in-chief, Emma Balter, is joining me to give her recommendations to help us recharge and get back to normal. It's Wednesday, July 17th. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. Hey, Emma, how are you?
Oh, doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. It's been a stretch here, right? And I wanted to start with this because you were without power for a while. What was the first thing you did after you did get power?
I put the AC down to 72. My house was about 88 degrees by the end of the stretch, and it was very hot. So, yeah, turning down the AC.
When our power came back on, I was reading that you shouldn't put your AC too low. So I wasn't sure what temperature to put it at. And I was like, I don't want the AC to go out now that the power is back. So it was like it was a fine line writing of trying to figure out where to put it. But that first blow of fresh air felt so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And just like going through my house and turning on all of the lights just to make sure that, it really is real. It was something. Yeah.
Hey, so look, some people have been cooped up inside, maybe with no AC, and they need to get out. They want to venture out. Where are some fun and hopefully inexpensive places? Because look, buying new groceries and getting things back to normal has been a little bit of an impact here on our wallets. Where can they go to get their mind off a Beryl and just unwind a little bit?
Yeah, great question. And that's such a great point. Hurricanes can be so expensive to deal with. But luckily, Houston has a ton of kind of activities that are either free or low cost. So looking to this weekend, I'm really excited for the Moody's annual Summer Jam. So they do this every year. Luckily, it's still on for this year. So this is the Moody Center for the Arts at the Rice University campus. So you can see their current exhibit on show. They'll also have food vendors and a farmer's market. There'll be lawn games, there'll be face painting, so it'll be great for the kids too. I would also love some face painting. That sounds fun. So that'll be July 20th this weekend. If you're looking for something to do a little sooner, our parks are basically back open. They also, sustained a bunch of damage, obviously down trees and everything. A lot of volunteer cleanups happened over the weekend, and so everyone is pretty much back up now. With some exceptions. So Herman Park, for example, the McGovern Centennial Gardens is back open. The park is back open. Miller Outdoor Theater is still doing, their shows. My very favorite attraction, the Choo Choo Train, that little railroad, which I take often, is back up. Unfortunately, the Japanese gardens, they're actually closed until further notice. I believe that they sustained some damage, so they need to kind of do some cleanup there, but mostly back open. And then in terms of other kind of museums, I wanted to shout out the Contemporary Arts Museum of Houston, which is always free. They have this exhibit right now that Houstonia wrote about called If Today Were Tomorrow by Olivia Erlanger. And it's kind of a trippy show. It's a little bit apocalyptic, so kind of on the nose. But yeah, really, really fun to walk around and, get some free AC.
Emma, I love your picks about just going to the park, right? And I was going to recommend just going out there, whether it be for a walk, for a run, for a workout, whatever it may be, just take a moment to yourself and your body and just regroup and kind of just find, where things are internally. And that was so huge for me. I went and played pickleball when I could, right? And it was so much fun just to get out there and talk about our shared experiences with strangers and just kind of relive what we went through, what's coming up, thoughts about everything that just happened. And that helps so much. And it was just so nice to do that. And then also at the same time, move your body a little bit because, again, we've all been sitting around. And earlier this week, we were talking as a team. Did you put on weight or did you lose weight during the hurricane, right? And a lot of people are saying, I put on weight. So it's just nice to just get out there and move a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I was good towards the beginning of losing power. I went for a little walk at the Willow Waterhole, which is this reservoir that I live close to. And then towards the latter part of the week, that kind of slipped and, I became a little bit of a couch potato, but we do what we can.
Yeah. And we can't forget, it is stressful on your bodies going through this, right? Yeah. The trauma of going through a hurricane, the power outages, it takes a toll on your body physically, even if you're not going out there and cutting trees or cleaning up messes. It's still exhausting. Hey, speaking of trees, last week on the podcast, we talked about this huge tree that was in your front yard. Did they finally clean up that tree? What happened with that?
It did. I did hire someone to do it, and they gave me a great deal. God bless them. But yeah, they came Saturday and chopped up my tree, that I had named Berylina because I like to name things. Brings a little levity to the situation. So yeah, she's just on the side of my house, chopped up, and I have no idea when the city is going to do, yard waste and tree cleanup, but it could be there for another while. So
yeah, it really could be. So just be prepared. Hey, after this all passed, right? And it's been about a week and a half now. Did you have a craving for a restaurant or a food that you just had to go to once things were somewhat back to normal for you?
Yeah, I did have a big sushi craving, actually, because, that's the thing that, you obviously cannot have during a power outage because that is the freshest of freshest things that you want to be fresh. And I actually did over the weekend end up ordering delivery from my favorite place, Hokkaido, which is in Asiatown on Bel Air Boulevard. They have really excellent sushi, very generous portions, insane prices, honestly. So yeah, I have to shout those out.
Oh, that's such a good one. My family and I, we were craving food from our favorite Thai restaurant, Thai Square. So Saturday, we were like, yeah, we're getting some Thai Square. And it's so hard. It was so perfect. The pad Thai, the Penang curry, topped with peanut sauce.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a good meal. That felt so good just eating that first bite.
Yeah. And speaking of restaurants, actually, we just published a piece on Houstonia this morning about Latin restaurant weeks. So they actually extended, it was only meant to go until July 19th. And because obviously so many restaurants were closed or disrupted last week, they extended it to July 26th. So, as Houstonians are kind of looking for places to eat and to check out, definitely look at what the deals that are going on there. And it's also a great way to support local restaurants that are kind of suffering right now.
That's such a great recommendation, and definitely go support those restaurants. For our listeners and maybe listeners who know somebody that's still without power right now, do you have any recommendations on foods that they can enjoy or comfort foods that they can enjoy?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really difficult, obviously, when you're in a power outage and your fridge is out. There are very, very few foods that you can really eat. One thing that I've done previously during power outages, it's super basic, but you can make it a little fancy. So I've never been able to do the can of soup thing during storms. I just can't do it. It just grosses me out. So, but I do love chickpeas or garbanzo beans. So if you have a can of chickpeas in your house, that is obviously shelf stable. So crack that open, drain it of that, chickpea juice. And then you can kind of crush them a little bit and then just put a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, some dried herbs if you have dried herbs hanging around, or if you have a garden, maybe you have some basil, out there in your garden, pick some of that, and just kind of crush it up. And that, I don't know, it's still nutritious. It feels healthy. It feels good. And it's just, if you're on that, 7 days of a can of soup, I definitely recommend that.
it's almost like an unrefined hummus, right?
Yes, exactly.
Where you've just got that consistency, the chickpeas. I love that one because what we do, if you do have an onion that wasn't in the fridge, right, and you had it
Mhm.
out and hasn't gone bad, maybe a tomato, you dice all that up and you just make it a chickpea salad, and I love that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There are definitely ways that you can kind of look at your pantry, hopefully, and get creative and figure something out.
O que acende a sua vontade de começar algo? Tem uma faísca em você que te chama para empreender, investir, dar novos rumos para sua vida. E para todos os seus começos, você pode contar com Santander Select. Um banco mais pessoal, mais próximo, mais humano. Um time de especialistas com olhar atento para cada momento da sua vida. Porque você sabe, só quem já deu muitos passos está pronto para continuar começando. Santander Select. Começa em você, começa agora.
Enquanto você ouve suas músicas e podcasts favoritos, deixa eu te perguntar, você já sabe da novidade do ano? Chegou a nova Fiat Titano. A nova picape da Fiat faz bonito nos terrenos mais desafiadores. Performance com motor turbo diesel 4x4 e câmera 360 graus off-road, que ajudam você a ultrapassar qualquer obstáculo. Sem falar que ela tem a maior caçamba da categoria. Tá esperando o que para conhecer? Nova Fiat Titano, chegou a sua vez de fazer história. Paz no trânsito começa por você.
You know, food is such a big part of feeling some sort of comfort or some sort of return to normal, but music also is a big part as well. And I saw that y'all put together this awesome playlist to bring some joy and some smiles back on people's faces. What was the vibe there?
Yeah, that playlist is great. We created it about a month ago or so. And when we were kind of thinking at Houstonia of ways to serve our readers and just, what are they looking for right now, we decided to kind of put that back out in our Ways to Stay Sane guide. So it's a playlist that exists on Spotify that anyone can save or download there. And it's basically the ultimate Houston playlist. So artists that are from Houston, songs about Houston, or songs that kind of have a Houston vibe. So it's just a little way to show pride in our city when she's beating us down.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely, some Beyonce and some Lizzo, as well as some Dean Martin. And it's a very eclectic mix. But yeah, it was very fun to put together. So
I was so happy that Krungbin was on there as the first song. First Class was the
yes.
song that y'all recommended, but their new album just brings so much joy to me. And we had that playing Saturday morning in our house just to
Nice.
kind of get that groove back a little bit.
Yeah, I love them. I listen to their stuff a lot when I'm working because a lot of their songs don't have lyrics. And so, when you're writing and editing,
Mhm.
and it's just they're very peaceful. All their songs are very peaceful. So definitely if you're kind of feeling stressed right now, yeah, they're a great artist to listen
Yeah,
to for
that one
sure.
helps a lot. One of the songs on there is called Hold Me Up. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
That's the name of the song. And that's such a good song to listen to just to kind of remind yourself to be grateful and thank the
Mm.
people in your life. Like literally, that is a message of that song. And it's such a good song right now, right? Because when we are down, when you are kind of beaten up, one way to get back to normal is to practice some gratitude. That song helps me do that.
Oh, that's so nice. I love that. I'll have to go listen to it again.
Another art that has helped a lot, reading. I picked up so many books while the power was out with a flashlight. I was going old school. I've been on a reading kick, and I usually do this in the summer because I'm going to the library with my kids more in the summer. So I'll find books I really want to read. Do you have any recommendations that could be a good fun read to kind of get us back into the groove of things?
Well, I don't know if this is a fun read, but it is what I am reading right now.
Okay.
I am reading Megan Kimball's book, City Limits, which is about highways. So she talks a lot about highways in Houston and other cities in Texas and how they were never meant to go through the cities and the problems that expansions pose. It's really fascinating. While a lot of the book is kind of enraging, I think there's also a lot of hope in it and kind of imagining a different future. And so I definitely recommend that. Yeah, I almost finished it during my power outage, and then my power came back on, and I just went right back to social
Yeah.
media.
I need to go on social media and I need to binge The Bear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which I still have not finished either. But yes, when a great book.
That sounds really fascinating, and I'm adding that to my list. So I truly appreciate that. The list is going to keep growing, and I love reading local stuff like that that is impacting us. Thank you so much for that one.
Totally.
All right, so the Astros are currently on their All-Star break right now, and they are back in action Friday in Seattle. But once they head back to Minute Maid Park, what is a good timeline on going to go catch a game without getting the ire of Mayor Whitmire? What do you think? Like, should we go maybe next month? I don't want to catch any anger from him, okay?
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, I think whenever feels right, again, like we really need to bring back some joy and levity in our lives. And so if anyone wants to catch an Astros game, I saw that last week they were doing $5 tickets and $1 hot dogs, and they sold 20,000 hot dogs or something.
Yeah, over 20,000 hot dogs on $1 hot dog night.
Yeah, I think that, that shows us that, Houston really needs baseball, really needs hot dogs. And so I think whenever feels right, go catch a game if you can, for sure.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Mayor Whitmire was not happy that Minute Maid Park's lights were on, but the George R. Brown Convention Center's lights were not on, where there was supposed to be a convention for the future farmers of America. Students were waiting, and I'm going, wait, why not just cancel the convention as well? Like, why are we going to waste resources on that? But people enjoy going to games, and it's AC once you're inside. You got the $1 hot dogs on that Tuesday night at least. Mm-hmm. And again, you're around people talking about shared experiences, and that does help as we get back into the groove of things.
Totally. Yeah, and I know that there's been some chatter, about a World Series win, which, Houstonians now come to expect after a hurricane. So
that would be nice. That would help a lot. But things have gotten better for our Astros, but still not back to the dominant Astros that we've come to love in the last few years. Emma, before I let you go, tell me more about this new project y'all are doing at Houstonia Magazine. Don't Say Howdy.
Yes, thank you. So really fun project that we launched a few weeks ago. So it's basically a 5-part limited series newsletter. We call it our opinionated guide to Houston. So it's for people who, maybe they're new here, they want to discover the city a little bit more, but it's also for people who've been here a while and kind of want to dig deeper or just be entertained and discover a little bit more of our culture. And so how it works is anyone can sign up anytime. And once you sign up, you will get 5 emails every week for 5 weeks. And then that's it. And they'll live in your inbox. You can refer to them at any time. And it's really just a collection of fun facts about the city, the best restaurants, local lingo like Feeder Road that, if you don't know yet, you need to catch up. And we've been getting some really positive feedback about it, and I'm really excited. So go check it out.
And by the way, if you need another reason to check out Don't Say Howdy, I actually wrote a sports story in there about things you need to know about our sports culture, teams, and everything sports related here in the city of Houston. I'm subscribed. It's going to be really cool to see the entire newsletter series drop. Emma, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's been crazy, but these tips are definitely going to help a lot of people out, so I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, and stay strong.
That was Houstonia Magazine's Emma Balter. You can find all of her recommendations linked in our show notes. And we want to hear from you. How are you finding some joy after Beryl? Send me your ideas with the contact info in our show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it and leave us a review and rating on your favorite podcast app. And don't forget to subscribe to our daily morning newsletter, Hey Houston. That will do it for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new.
I'm completely blanking. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Cut that out. Don't even stress out about it.
Just cut it out. Yeah. If I think of something, I'll let you know. But yeah.